A transgender woman stepped out of the grocery store, then noticed a baby's faint cries coming from an old car across the lot. What she did next will absolutely floor you. Her name was Avery Lane, mid-30s, soft voice, sharper eyes, hair pulled into a messy bun, hoodie worn loose, but with the poise of someone who had survived fire. That night, she just wanted oat milk and quiet. She stepped out of the store, 2 cloth bags in hand, the cool evening air brushing her cheeks. The parking lot was nearly empty, streetlights humming like tired ghosts. The smell of rain lingered from earlier showers, blending with the faint aroma of car exhaust and damp pavement. Her footsteps echoed against the concrete. But something froze her mid-step. A rusted sedan in the farthest corner of the lot, its windows fogged, blankets pinned to the inside with chip bags and bits of plastic. And then, from inside, a cry. A baby. Weak. Faint. Like it was used to not being answered. The sound cut through the night like a whispered alarm bell. Avery didn't move. That sound wasn't unfamiliar. Not from being a parent, but from once being a child no one came for. From a shelter hallway years ago. From a baby that didn't make it. From a note left on her bed that said, "You weren't enough." She approached slowly, her heart beating faster with every step. In the driver's seat sat a woman, maybe late 20s, skin pale, eyes hollow, arms curled around a baby swaddled in mismatched fabrics. The woman spotted her and immediately straightened. Her face wore the look of someone used to disappearing. "Can I help you?" she asked, voice sharp. Defensive. Avery shook her head. "Maybe. Or maybe I can help you." The woman pulled the baby closer, her body folding protectively. She said nothing. Her gaze lingered on Avery's face, scanning it for judgment, pity, danger. "I'm not here to judge," Avery said softly. "Just let me leave something for you." She placed a fleece blanket and a bottle of pre-mixed formula on the hood of the car, then walked to her own car, parked nearby, and waited. 10 minutes passed. The woman stepped out, cautious. She took the items, looked around, then returned to the driver's seat. The next evening, Avery returned, this time with baby wipes, soft crackers, and a thermos of warm lentil soup. She waited again, leaning on the side of her car, watching the stars flicker into existence overhead. "You don't have to say anything," Avery said when the woman emerged. "Just wanted to make sure you're okay." The woman stared for a moment, then asked, "Why are you doing this?" "Because I was invisible once," Avery said, "and someone saw me." The woman's eyes dropped. Her voice broke the silence like glass against tile. "My name's Chloe. This is Eli." Over the next week, they spoke more. A slow, fragile exchange of trust. Chloe told her how her husband died in a construction accident, how she spiraled, lost the house, how his parents tried to take Eli, how she fled across state lines, lived out of her car, and got by pushing carts and doing odd jobs. "I had a job at a diner," Chloe said once, her voice trembling. "Some creep started following me, saying stuff. I told my boss. He said I was causing trouble. They let me go." Avery felt her fists tighten. She had her own stories, being misgendered, followed, mocked, denied jobs because her name didn't match the ID in their minds, rejected from shelters, told she was a liability. Sometimes they'd sit together outside the car, watching Eli sleep. Avery would tell her about her own past, the nights she spent sleeping behind dumpsters, the shelters that locked her out, the cold mornings when she didn't know if she'd survive to see noon, but someone had helped her. Just once. And it had changed everything. One night, as Chloe fed Eli from a bottle Avery had brought, she whispered, "I used to think asking for help meant I was weak. Now I think not asking might have destroyed me." Avery nodded, eyes misting. It takes strength to be seen when you've spent so long hiding. She stood up. "Come on, you're not sleeping in that car tonight." She had booked a night at a nearby motel with the last bit of her savings. Nothing fancy, just clean sheets and a locked door, a space to breathe. Chloe hesitated, shaking her head. "I can't take this from you." "You can," Avery replied, "because this isn't charity. It's what you and Eli deserve." That night, Chloe laid Eli down on a real bed. He slept deeply for the first time in weeks. Chloe sat beside him, eyes filling with tears, her body trembling. A note lay on the nightstand. "You're not alone. Not anymore." The next morning, Avery didn't stop. She called LQB plus support groups, shelters, a friend who worked with housing nonprofits. She explained Chloe's story. By sundown, Chloe had a place in transitional housing, access to therapy, and a voucher for childcare. She also arranged to have Chloe meet with a social worker who specialized in trauma recovery. She found a local church that ran a weekly support group for single mothers. She even spoke with a barista she knew who managed a cafe looking for part-time help. "Why are you doing all this?" Chloe asked again. Avery looked at her. "Because no one helped me until it was almost too late, and I promised I'd never let someone else fall through the cracks." 3 weeks later, Chloe stood behind the front desk at a youth resource center, checking in a teenage girl and her younger brother. She wore a clean shirt, her hair tied up neatly. Avery walked her to work that morning, coffee in hand. They laughed on the sidewalk, sharing stories about Eli's latest babbles. Chloe smiled. "One day, I'm going to do for someone else what you did for me." Avery nodded. That's the whole point. Heal, and then be someone else's miracle. That evening, Chloe sat on the floor of her tiny room, Eli in her lap, stacking blocks. She smiled to herself. She wasn't rich. She wasn't healed yet. But she was safe. And for the first time in months, she didn't feel ashamed. Outside, Avery parked in her usual spot by the community center. She sat for a while, watching people pass. A mother with 3 kids, an elderly man feeding birds, a boy walking with his dog. She sipped her tea and let herself feel the moment. As Avery drove home later that night, she glanced up at the pink-purple sky, the city quiet around her. She had no cape, no millions, just a heart that refused to look away. And she knew, no matter how dark the world seemed, there would always be light where people chose to care. They didn't just share a bond, they shared a future.